Hey, wrestling after Wargames. A really good show. Lots of fun. Lots of good stuff there. Someone got hit with a toilet seat while wearing it. Someone went through a table. A couple of them. Big man. Big tsunami. Lots of things happened. Doug's here. First time doing this one. Back to back instead of seeing us two separate screens. We're here. It's DA Wrestling. Let's get at it. We're going through the entire thing, folks. Right? What just happened on this WWE's War Games in Vancouver? No Rock, though. No betrayal by Heyman, as the rumors are out there. Nothing else. But a lot of good, wholesome matches. Rhea Ripley looked like death incarnate for a little bit. And we're going to start with that one, too. The Women's War Games match. Start off the match quickly. This is Doug. He's here finally, as you can see.
Hi.
Hi. Doug.
Yes.
What do you think of the whole thing?
So the in comparison to last year, when we tried that ill-fated live stream.
Yeah.
When we first started, we were still new at doing this, but
definitely new at doing this.
So compared to last year, I think I enjoyed this one more. I think that both War Games matches delivered. I think the matches in the middle delivered. We'll get into the middle part, but specifically the women's War Games. A lot of fun spots. We speculated last night who was kind of going to go the distance.
Yeah.
I kind of like.
You were definitely right on the Tama Tonga Jey Uso part.
Yeah, we'll get
right?
to that.
Yeah, but we never really chose who to go first in the women's War Games, though.
I mean, like, I'm kind of for anyone who listens to this or knows me on a somewhat personal level.
Yeah.
Io Sky's my girl.
She is definitely his girl. You should have seen him go absolutely ape for her. He was like, oh my Lord, she's so sexy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I guess for a fun little story off the top, my wife comes downstairs. I'm watching Raw a couple months ago.
You weren't playing with yourself, were you?
No.
Okay, thank goodness.
But she's like,
oh, that's where it's going.
No. She was like, which one of the girls is your favorite? And I told her it was Io Sky, and I showed her a picture, and she's like, I'm not surprised because obviously she lives with me and she knows that like my favorite game franchise is Yakuza, which is set in Japan. And so this next thing out of her mouth was, I'm surprised you didn't marry a Japanese woman.
It's a valid point, actually, when you think about it. It's a very valid point. I mean, like, Cass doesn't go out. I mean, I know Cass, and she's not gonna go out and buy herself one of those Io Sky replica outfits, will she?
No.
If she does, God help her. I mean, good on her too.
I mean, I win that day, but
I mean that's a win-win for you for sure.
I mean, yeah,
it's definitely a win-win for you for sure.
But go ahead.
But women's War Games started off with obviously the entrance. Rhea came out last wearing this very mask similar to what Buddy Matthews has worn in AEW with the House of Black. Now, mind you, it was cut off though. See there, right? The horns, the back, very devil be. Looks like she did pull out Malachi Black's closet for a lot of things.
Well, I mean, I think Buddy and Malachi probably share the same kind of attire.
I think the whole House of Black does. They're definitely all that stuff. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the House of Black, so like,
yeah.
I'm definitely into all that. Like, I'm not really into all that stuff, but I do like a lot of that company. It's really cool. I'm not gonna go out and buy. I'm not gonna invade my house with stuff like that because God knows it scare away potential buyers.
Actually, I didn't say this when we were watching it, but it reminds me of a mask that somebody that comes into my work was wearing once upon a time.
It's much cooler than the Undertaker mask.
Yeah,
definitely cooler.
I think it was a cool little take on. I think it was a cool take on the kind of protecting the orbital bone.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll find out that was a little bit of a play for a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that wasn't as bad as we initially thought.
No, at least reports were made out to be. Bailey started the match against Nia Jax. And I'm just quite surprised that Nia Jax started this off.
Well, I mean, that just goes to show. I mean, Nia Jax has, made leaps and if this was Nia Jax 3, 4 years ago, like I would not trust her going an hour
Yeah, for
in
sure.
in a War Games
Yeah,
match.
absolutely not.
But I think, I mean, as I continue to say on this show, the constant improvements that Nia Jax has made since coming back last September, uh, is like it's two completely different wrestlers.
Yeah, she's like, and I've said it before on the show as well too. Um, literally the way, the fact that she dropped as much weight as she did
Yep.
has definitely helped her completely in the ring. The way she looks, the way they think, not to shame anybody who is big. It's not that I'm trying to get out here, but through an athletic standpoint of view and through a safety point of view,
Yeah.
she is probably a lot more safer now than she was five,
But
4 years
I
ago.
also consider it like you kind of learn, right?
Yeah,
Like it's she took that time away to work on whatever,
yeah,
whether it was getting into better shape or, working on her like on a in a technical aspect.
yeah,
Um, but she's able to maintain that aura of being way bigger than everybody else in the women's
yeah.
division, but at the same time, uh, she's in a better condition for herself, and in a sense, it helps her with conditioning and stuff with a longer match like this.
Much like I said to you during the Gunther match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
very, very much so. Probably put years on his life.
So so Andrew literally wrote this down.
Aha.
Uh, Bailey gets butt smashed by Nia. That was right before Naomi came in.
Yeah. She brought a toilet seat.
She brought a toilet seat. You want to know what Naomi did with the toilet seat when you were not in
Yeah,
the room?
she did something with the toilet seat that I apparently missed. Like who? I mean, she used the toilet seat for all these. Like she literally put something in the crapper.
So they got Nia in the corner. Naomi put the toilet seat on her head and gave her a stink face. And when I told you this, when you came back downstairs, you started hysterically laughing.
That's an ode to Rikishi
Yep, yep, yep. And
and
Corey
her.
Graves was talking about Rikishi.
Yeah, it's ode to Rikishi and her. Her extended family with the Usos. So
Well, that's it. That is her father-in-law.
it is her father. That is very true. So I mean, but like she used the toilet seat, folks. A toilet seat of all things. A toilet seat.
So, I mean, the next little bit here we have Candice was in next, followed by Bianca, Tiffany, Io, Raquel, Rhea, and then Liv. But Liv brought handcuffs.
Yes, Io the trash can girl Sky. Let's be honest here. It's like her main thing for this. I mean, obviously we were waiting for it. She's done it every year. She's been in the War Games match. But this time she brought a colored one though. She painted it purple, a little bit of yellow around it.
It was rainbow.
Yeah, it was a rainbow. I
Yeah.
thought I saw the purple part.
Yeah, well, I mean, it ended purple, but if you look towards the edge of the garbage can,
Yeah.
it was like a rainbow.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, for a second I thought she was a Vikings fan. But or LSU.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, the Vikings are doing pretty well this year.
Ah, they are.
But anyway, so at the same time, we had Tiffany Stratton do a swanton off one side
Yep.
as Io does a moonsault with the trash can on the other side. Um, they're trying to they have Rhea surrounded.
Yep.
And Io comes back after this with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That
Yeah.
was when Tiffany was trying to cash
They
in.
teased the cash in and still no cash in. Who does that?
WWE.
Enough's enough.
Have you not been watching the last
Cash
20?
Cash it in. I'm done with it. Cash it in.
Have you not been watching the last 20 fucking years?
I've been watching it for a while, but like, cash it in for God's sakes. Cash it in, and make sure too. All by the way, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below. If you like the content down below, here's somewhere right on this side, probably. Yeah, that's probably it. Right. Subscribe down below. Make sure you follow us on Podbean, YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify as well. Anyway, yeah, Io Sky decided to go crazy with the fucking
But amidst the chaos, Rhea ends up handcuffing Raquel Rodriguez to the
she's
turnbuckle.
laughing to the point where after that she gets in the ring with Liv, and Liv's all excited. until Rhea takes the mask off.
Yep. And I mean, a wicked face paint job.
Yeah, very Viking-ish.
Yeah.
Very Viking-ish.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't too similar to what Nakamura is doing right now,
Yeah.
I mean,
She probably got inspired by that.
possibly, yeah. But
Yep.
it's okay. So at the end of this, we had Rhea hit a riptide to Liv Morgan off the top turnbuckle through a table, and Rhea's team wins.
Yeah. It was a hell of a good match. Belair did some interesting things though too, but nothing too really noteworthy. I found.
Yeah, I mean, they still like, so I guess kind of like the overarching thing between both War Games matches
Yeah.
was like there were parts of both teams on both sides
Yeah.
that, with the exception of Solo's bloodline,
Yeah.
that uh didn't get along. So we had like a face off between Bailey and Io at one point. We had kind of like a glance between Bianca and Bailey at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good match. I enjoyed it more than last year's women's War Games match.
The Bailey Io Sky face off was very interesting.
I think it's, so I think what the Triple H style of booking excels at
Yeah.
is continuity.
Yeah.
And I think, we're kind of done with the insulting the audience intelligence.
Yeah, because remember before we used to have War Game. Well, before it became War Games a couple years ago,
The
again,
five v
it was
five.
the 5v5 stuff. So you'd have NXT versus SmackDown and versus Raw. But you always have for some reason the draft like a month beforehand, right? And like there's no building there, right? So
Right. So, but I think like, well, over the years, I mean, you'll have seen this kind of, can they get along? I actually recently saw this one from, I don't know, probably 15 years ago. Triple H had a team with like Rey Mysterio, Kane, and a bunch of other guys. And they were all kind of listing off reasons why they don't like Triple H.
oh yeah.
Including Kane.
Well, I mean, for God's sake, Triple H and Kane makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Kane bringing up the Katie Vick angle.
yep,
um,
the Katie Vick angle.
but so I guess it was kind of like you'll see throughout the night. It was just like, despite differences, they managed to get on the same page for at least one night.
That's like things most in life too, get on the same page with people, something you just don't like. It happens.
Well, think about it like this: you're not going to like everybody you work with.
Absolutely not. There's a lot of people I work with I can't stand.
When I worked there was a lot of people I couldn't stand either.
There you go.
But we all work together for the better of the business.
It doesn't mean I hate them. I just sometimes, I just can't stand you. But then again, it goes both ways. Anyway, there is a God, right? He must like Shinsuke Nakamura because we got a title change. We got the U.S. title taken off LA Knight, put on Shinsuke Nakamura in that samurai tower that he has now, which is fantastic. Excellent entrance. They did it right. Knight doesn't need the title. I said this on Friday. There you go.
So, okay. So first of all, as I mentioned last night, if anybody missed the show that I uploaded earlier this afternoon, yeah, it was the afternoon. I forgot to do it this morning.
No, that's all right.
But the new presentation and remix of Nakamura's entrance is awesome. And for somebody like me who, as I was explaining to you during the match, I've been watching Nakamura since like probably 2008. Like he made a quick stop in TNA at one point.
Had a cup of coffee.
And during that relationship, but I think another thing I appreciate with Triple H in charge is like Michael Cole is literally just flexing how much of a nerd he is.
I also noticed too with Cole, he is going off the cuff. He has no script. He doesn't have a crazy lunatic yelling in his ear
That we know of.
that we know of. I'm sure Triple H is not a lunatic. But you see a lot of this, and he's doing much better. I find Cole much more enjoyable now than he ever did with Vince McMahon.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I like seeing, like I mean, kind of backtracking just a sec. At the end of the pre-show when we were kind of getting settled, Michael Cole was making his entrance, and like to see Michael Cole getting his flowers now. For years, that dude was absolutely mercifully hated.
Yeah, because a lot of people I find too, especially my generation, which is well not much farther from yours, but Michael Cole replaced JR.
Yep.
So
Some hard
JR,
shoes to fill.
yeah, and JR was the voice of like when I was a teenager, he was the voice of my wrestling.
You want a hot take?
Sure.
Michael Cole's better than Jim Ross.
That's to be debatable.
I know everybody has a soft spot for Jim Ross. I love Jim Ross myself. I think Michael Cole's better.
I think as far as maybe the way things have evolved, I think he's better than JR.
Yeah.
But as far as overall commentary goes, I still think JR is maybe better. But I think overall through like be able to transition to a newer age, we try to see it with JR with AEW. It doesn't work out very well. Whereas Cole has been able to transition to a newer age of wrestling.
Well, so the way that I look at it is Jim Ross has had 10 years at this point to kind of keep up with the times or evolve with the times.
He's gone through a lot of stuff.
That too. I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying, like,
Mind the beer, folks.
that what are you talking about? I drink on this show all the fucking time, and I'll sit here and get high on this show all the fucking time.
Just saying.
Anyways,
Public service announcement.
yeah, drink responsibly. That's the problem.
Don't drive.
That's
God knows I'm not.
Yeah. But I remember listening to JR when they did the first English commentary for New Japan, for Wrestle Kingdom in 2015.
Yeah.
Or 2014, one of the two. And it was like he kind of like lost that. He's kind of lost it over the years, right? He doesn't have the command of like I'm not looking forward to Jim Ross on commentary anymore.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But Michael Cole has evolved over the especially he got that kind of renewed sense when Pat McAfee joined the squad in 2020.
I find that was probably the best Michael Cole.
Between 2020 and 2021, late 21, when Pat McAfee left the first time, yeah.
I think that was the best Michael Cole.
Yeah. I mean, I still enjoy Michael Cole now, like on a weekly
basis.
basis.
I'm not saying I don't like Michael Cole. I'm just saying
but that's possible. Honestly, that's possibly one of the best commentary teams out there is Pat McAfee and Michael Cole.
God, I missed that.
Anyways, moving on. We had Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight.
And Shin won fairly convincing though.
Well, I wouldn't say it was fairly convincing, but like he kind of leaned into that kind of like, I guess we're calling Shinsuke a heel at this point.
I'd say he's a heel.
But, a rake of the eyes on a vertical suplex in between the rings. And this was a super creative spot too. Utilizing the middle part of the double ring. And Shinsuke hit this nasty reverse DDT on the metal part between the rings. And hits the Kinshasa on the back of the head, which I was explaining to you back in Japan.
He used to do when he was with
Chaos. That was like his super finisher.
Yeah.
Like if it was a big match and he really needed to put someone away, it was the I guess back then it was called the Bomaye.
Bomaye?
Something like that. And he picks up the win. And I don't think we've seen this might be the first time since like 2019 that Shinsuke's been champion.
I think
of any kind.
I think we'll get one more match out of this. I think Shinsuke's gonna win completely again too. And move LA Knight towards the world title part.
I can definitely see LA Knight through 2025.
Battling for for the world title.
The WWE title,
I
absolutely.
can see that too.
No.
I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I wouldn't mind a heel Cody Rhodes, but we'll find out. Sheamus versus Braun Breaker versus Kaiser. Braun wins, and Braun was like a human missile.
Yeah, Corey Graves used the term military grade.
Yeah.
There was a lot of craziness in this match. It was
Yeah.
a really solid match.
Boy, they got me with all they got us the almost Sheamus pinning it.
Sheamus was this fucking
He was
close.
this close to pulling off the victory until that Kaiser pulled away the referee.
So, yeah, I mean, Sheamus hit the brogue kick on Braun, and I thought it was over. And Kaiser, after being dumped to the outside,
Yeah. He
I
pulled
mean,
it and he was laughing at Sheamus. And you know that's not over. Sheamus has that look in his eye like he's going to kill himself a German.
But that being said, that particular German, I said to you after this match,
That particular German is going to be the IC champion, and I'm totally okay with it.
he's going to be the next IC champion.
And I'm okay with it. 100%.
I mean, he's always winning at life because he has Tiffany strap.
He does. How he managed that is beyond me.
I mean, it's not like he's a bad looking guy.
No, he's also much older too, from what I understand.
No, that doesn't really matter once you're an adult. Anyway,
Very
moving
true.
on.
Anyway, but yeah, Braun Breaker ends up winning with a spear on Sheamus after he gets beaten the hell out of him with the shillelagh too. On top of that, like he got the crap kicked out of him.
That's my favorite part about this run of Sheamus is seeing how many welts he collects on his body.
That man's gonna have a roadmap of pain,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
seeing the amount of welts that man collects
Yeah,
after every match is fun to watch in like a sickening way.
yeah. I feel he's gonna be a paraplegic at some point. Maybe not,
No.
but he's gonna have a lot of pain in his back just from bruising.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Gunther and Priest.
We talked about Gunther a little bit, touched on Gunther a little bit there. Now, Gunther retained the world title.
It was not as convincing as we both thought it would.
No, I thought he was gonna beat the living piss out of him. I was wrong, and he's still gonna help him Balor, which then he kicked Balor in the skull for it.
So again, I'm going to bring up something else we were talking about during the show. Okay. I think if you can encapsulate Raw in 2024, it's both the rise of Damian Priest and Jey Uso as main event players.
Absolutely.
And to the point, like, I was almost half convinced that Priest was going to get the title back here.
It looked a lot like Priest was going to win the title back for sure. A lot in this whole match. It didn't look like we were convinced that Gunther was going to beat the living piss out of him. Like he won, so we were right on the point where we were right when he said he was going to win. But how he won was not how we thought the match was going to go.
Well, the final couple spots of the match was for the record, Priest never hit South of Heaven.
No, he didn't. That's becoming a very protected move.
Which, awesome. Great. Gunther has like 10 finishers. So you're going to see each and every one of them in a match, and you're just not sure which one's going to be the...
I would say his finisher is maybe the sleeper.
Now,
at this point, I'd probably say it's a sleeper. Or the power bomb is the sleeper combo.
Right. So Gunther was working on the left arm of Priest throughout the match.
I don't want to be a dink about this, but he was working on this arm.
I gotta take this.
He was working on his left arm. There you go.
So, anyways, they're fighting up on the top after Gunther's been working on this arm.
Yep.
And it looked like Gunther was trying for a superplex, but Priest was hanging on and tried to turn it into a South of Heaven off the top rope. Which, by the way, for how protected South of Heaven is, if he had hit it off the top rope, we had a new world champion.
Still want to finish my thought here, though, too. They're working out that he's working on this arm here, but Sal hits with this arm. They're calling the wrong arm. Kind of funny. It was a botch.
Well, I mean, it's kind of I
No
don't
one's
know.
perfect. I'm just saying, let's call it a spade a spade.
It's an old wrestling thing about working the left side.
Like I say, it was an old. I thought it was an old ancient English term you're gonna say, but okay.
No. It's an old thing in wrestling, like to work the left side
Yeah,
as opposed to the right side.
yeah, but it was the right side we used to think. Now you know what I'm not getting this.
I know.
We talked about this during the thing that we had a good laugh at.
But anyways, so they both end up taking a tumble, and Priest, I guess, like in just like a great act of selling, was like trying to tell the ref like his arm was out, and then he's like, "Give me a second, give me a second." Ref goes back in the ring, and Finn Balor comes out of the crowd, hits a coup de grace off the top of the stairs.
That's sneaky Irishman.
Fuck Finn Balor.
Oh, I wouldn't say that Pim, but
No.
but-
Right now, fuck Finn Balor.
they're bringing that thing back. They're gonna bring back the Finn Balor Priest issue, right?
I fucking hope not. I'm so
Right.
done with this
Well,
shit.
either that or this is what's gonna happen. Finn's gonna go after Gunther, and Priest's gonna cost Finn.
So this is going to be Drew McIntyre and CM Punk,
Yes.
where they just keep costing each other the world title.
Eventually, it's gonna be one of them is like whoever wins, whoever loses can never challenge for the title again as long as Yada Yada is in charge, in power.
So the best way to settle this is all leading to a last man standing match.
More than likely,
Saturday night's main
or
event.
Hell in a Cell.
Saturday night's main event.
That'd be great.
Cool.
I'm okay with that. Moving on to the men's War Games match, and I know what. Before we get into it, though, let us put our hands together. Let's us pray for Jacob Fatu. Because by the looks of it, he either tweaked his knee or his hammy or something. Because he took a misfire on a moonsault that he usually does with no problem.
Oh my god! And he had hit the moonsault just a couple minutes earlier.
Yeah. So we're gonna pray his I love you, Jacob Fatu. But yeah.
Before we get into this match,
Yeah.
what did you think of the NFL style announcing of the participants, meeting the participants?
Comical.
Quite. And then that led me to show you the Key and Peele sketch.
That reminds me of I always loved the NFL Sunday Night Football especially when the Vikings were playing, like with the Brett Favre Vikings.
Yeah.
When Jared Allen was on the team, every time Jared Allen, Culinary Institute. Fucking love that.
I mean, yeah, and for those that know what I'm talking about, Hingle McCringleberry, Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, going into this match, we both kind of alluded to this last night. Jey Uso, Tama Tonga were the right two guys to go the distance here. Things happened really quick.
Yeah, very quickly.
So
like Jay and Tama both started. Tama looking all psychotic to be like,
oh yeah, he has a doctorate in that. That's
yeah,
what he said. That's what he said.
Doctor.
And he went to university.
I think Tama took the only one that was serious going like Texas State. And why? What?
Oh no, Bianca announced herself as she's a volunteer.
Oh yeah. She went
She
Tennessee Volunteers, go Vols.
Yeah, University of Tennessee, go Vols.
The only good thing they ever had was Peyton Manning.
And Bianca Belair.
Peyton Manning.
And Bianca Belair.
Peyton Manning.
You're not going to give Bianca Belair any credit here?
Kane.
What about Kane?
Wasn't he didn't he go to Tennessee?
He's the mayor of Knox County, yeah.
And Bianca Belair, why not?
So, I mean, things didn't really pick up until,
I mean, they beat the crap out of each other for the first number of minutes till Solo showed up.
Solo showed up.
Although there was a lot of dissension, specifically really on the OTC side.
Yeah.
Now the way it went was Tama, Jay, Jimmy,
No. Bronson Reed came in next,
Bronson,
and then Jimmy.
then Jimmy, then Tonga, right? And right when Punk was probably going to go, it was stopped by Reigns, and he said Sammy.
So that's actually a callback to
Actually, wait a minute, no. We missed something there.
Jacob came in.
Fatu came in before Tonga Loa.
So, but that's kind of like
They sent that werewolf in, the game changer.
That's a callback to a couple of years ago, where in that War Games match, the Bloodline one, where they were kind of not sure where Sammy stood.
Oh, that's right.
Jimmy was about to go in to save Jay, and when it was their turn, Roman did this to Jimmy and sent Sammy. But this time, he stopped Punk from going in to send Sammy to save both Usos.
Yeah.
This is why continuity matters.
This is why, too. And they sent Jacob out. He just wrecked everybody for a good 20 minutes.
Until he blew his knee out.
Yeah, well, Solo comes in last.
Locks the cage.
Locks the cage before Roman could even get there, which forces Roman to climb the cage, who ended up beating people on his way in. And then, the most oddest thing you've ever seen from Roman Reigns in years, a flying crossbody.
Does a flying crossbody.
And he was like even happy and surprised that he even hit him.
I don't even think he was happy he hit it.
He was like, yeah!
He was pumped up, though.
Oh, for sure. He was totally pumped for it.
So he...
You'd be too, being a 230-pound man flying through the air. I mean...
You think Roman's only 230?
He's probably 275.
Yeah.
I know Randy like pushing 260, 280.
Randy's now 290.
Jesus Christ, Randy. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, he's got to strengthen that back.
Still! I mean, I got a strong back too. Well, never mind. Probably get into this. Anyway, Roman's are climbing in, and that's when Roman gets in. He kind of clears the house. Then he goes over to his side of the ring. He picks up Jimmy. He picks up Jay. He looks at Punk, scowls at him for disobeying what he wanted to do. Right? In which, and then he picks up Sammy. He does this to Sammy, picks him up and just shakes his head. Right? Until he's back on Sammy's good side, or Sammy's back on his good side. And then Punk gets up. They give each other the look of pure evil, like they're about to like slaughter each other in the depths of hell.
And Paul Heyman.
And the wise man shows up. Just to the nines, mind you. And says, you have to work together.
It's war.
It's war. Almost sounds like General Custer back then. If that was what he sounded like. And then they all go to war. And people start going through tables. Get beaten with things. So, and this is right around here where Jacob pops his either hammy or knee. And we're gonna find out later.
It's his knee. I don't think it's a hammy. Just from
he started grab. I say hammy because the first thing I saw was him grab his hamstring.
Okay. He was clutching that knee for dear life.
That too.
And as I've talked about many times on this show, as a guy that has pretty nasty knee problems, myself, I can tell when someone's favoring a knee.
Yeah.
And so Jacob went to do that double jump moonsault like he's been doing like a million times. And his knee buckled on that top rope and he bailed.
Yeah. Hard.
And so they had to kind of call an audible.
Yeah.
To where they set Roman up on a table. Bronson Reed climbs to the top of the cage for a tsunami.
Yeah.
And then right at the very last second, and I mean very last second,
milliseconds,
Punk pulled Roman off the table.
That was almost a disaster waiting to happen.
And then, but actually before that, Roman speared Punk.
He did. Before that, was kind of like almost like a bit of a botch, though. Like he was supposed to go to the ropes and hit Solo, but Punk apparently wasn't in enough position yet to where he had to do it. So he had to stop him for a quick second. Solo kind of then moved out of the way slightly, then shoved him through to hit Punk.
Yeah.
No retaliation, though, from Punk, really. In fact, Punk saved him after that.
Because you know why?
Because Punk believes in putting bygones be bygones.
No, because Punk is like Kevin Owens. He watches the show. He understands accidents happen. He's like, yeah, Solo got out of the way, and I took a spear for it.
If I'm seeing Punk and I'm looking at Roman Reigns doing that to me, I'd probably kick him in the face after that.
Yeah, well, we all thought something like that was going to happen.
That's what we thought, especially after the show.
But as it winds down towards the end of the match here, Jacob Fatu hits the first 1D by the Usos in about a year and a half.
Yeah, and which basically takes him out effectively, kind of ending his night. Sound like, here we go, we're going to end it now.
Well, the 1D...
Although that beast did walk around a lot, doing a lot of things before, and kicked people with that leg.
I mean, I guess if he can't support himself with his right leg, he may as well just,
throw his bad leg out there.
Just throw the right leg out.
It's already screwed as it is. Might as well finish it off.
So anyways, Jimmy goes up, hits an Uso splash through a table, which does take Jacob out of the match. Bronson's down.
That hurt Jimmy too in the process too, because he was visibly hurt after that too.
Bronson's down.
I'm sure Christmas dinner will be fantastic at the Usos house.
Can only imagine what Thanksgiving was like the other day.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's not even your cousin goes through, makes you go through a table though.
So after this, both Tongans get thrown into the cage. Jay hits a spear on one. And Sammy hits a blue thunderbomb on the other. So it eventually ends up where it's all 5 members of Roman's bloodline and Solo in the middle, and Roman's giving him a chance to acknowledge him. And Solo's saying,
I'm still the tribal chief.
Solo was saying it's like, it wasn't supposed to be this way, but I'm still the damn tribal chief. And he went to go spike somebody, but he's one super kick from Jay, one super kick from Jimmy, double super kick. Into the corner, Sammy gets the nod from Roman, which another callback to a couple of years ago. And Sammy hits the haluva kick, throws him into CM Punk, and Punk literally positions himself so that he hits the GTS. Solo bounces off the ropes. Roman hits a spear. And then that's the 3 count. And we get everybody celebrating. And then eventually a handshake between Punk and Roman.
Well, at one point there, though, too, everyone goes and hugs CM Punk minus Roman Reigns. And Roman's looking at it like he just ran over his dog.
Yeah. But, I mean, as they came back after that replay package, Sammy's like, look, he did help us win this.
Yeah.
We did win with his help.
Yeah.
So Roman, in
hindsight,
swallowed his pride and, shook his hand.
Yep.
As they're leaving the cage, Heyman's there greeting all of them.
Yeah.
And
Heyman said something interesting. You want to tell him what that was?
Yeah. So Heyman's thanking Punk, and Punk said, it's okay. We both owe each other a favor. And Heyman said, anytime. And Punk said, when I'm ready, when I need that favor, I'll come ask you. And Heyman said, not a problem. So
what's the favor? We asked this on SmackDown yesterday for the show. Check it out right now on YouTube. But we're going to say it again now, because we're going to revisit it right now. What do you think the favor is? Like, what do you like? What's your honest guess as what the favor is? Like, it's going to be on video, so we're going to figure out what it is. So, like, what do you think it is?
I think there's going to come a situation. Where Punk's outnumbered.
Yep.
And he calls Heyman for help from the bloodline. Like Roman's bloodline. Or it's going to be title related.
I think it's more title related than anything else. I think Roman regains that title.
And then Punk calls in the favor.
And then Punk calls in the favor. Because I don't know. Now, I'm not saying what Cody. We didn't get Cody Rhodes at all in this entire pay-per-view, so he took the month off. Good.
This is the third pay-per-view in a row. The title hasn't been but defended.
That's very true. But Cody wasn't on it.
Nope.
But I'm wondering how if Cody is going to now. There has been reports say that Cody's going to hold that title past to Mania, and therefore past it. Question is, if they change their mind, do they want to do Punk versus Roman for that title?
Time will tell.
Time will tell if they want to do it. Because Punk really doesn't really have, I mean, he signed specifically to Raw. But with Raw going to Netflix in January, on January 1st,
January 6th.
January 6th, Roman is apparently going to be on that Raw. Punk will probably be on that Raw. That will be on the road to WrestleMania.
Well, road to the Royal Rumble anyway.
Yeah, anyway. So, interesting to see what happens there. Interesting to see what goes on there. I don't think this story's over with the bloodline at all. I think there's more to find out. We're going to find out more about Jacob Fatu, whether he is injured or not, or whether it was just a work. We're just going to find out what goes on, especially this week on SmackDown, and what goes else going on for everything else. Anyway, guys, that was the War Games recap. What just happened? What went on? Who knows? Whatever you want to call it. Thank you for following us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following, listening. Make sure you follow us there on. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, all DA Wrestling or DA Sports. Take a look. Hey guys, I'm Andrew. That was Doug. Have a good night. Peace be with you.